Hello and welcome to my humble little corner of internet real estate. I'm the SImmerian. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be checking out HP Lovecraft's The Dream Cycle. But that's a book. Yeah, but they made it into a video game.
Oh, yeah.
So stick around. It's going to be a good one today.
Alright guys, first things first, let's get into the graphical options. In the graphics option, you have window mode, resolution, field of view, VSync, frame rate limit, and gamma. You can also adjust various graphics qualities, so pretty basic here. Your audio options are, moving on. Alright, and let's check out the controls. The controls are very similar to Dishonored, if you've ever played that. The unique thing about this game is that you have the option to go between first-person and third-person hybrid mode, which is awesome, and I hope that more video games implement this option in the future. You can rebind your keys. Other than that, pretty basic stuff. I don't know whether to find this sad or irritating that AAA titles can't get the option to first-person or third-person hybrid mode, but little indie titles can. Alright, so what is this game all about? Well, we know it's based in the world of HP Lovecraft, and that alone should be enticing enough to explore it. But what's the goal, who's the protagonist, and who's the antagonist? You start the game as Morgan Carter, the long-distant granddaughter to the character in the short story series Rudolph Carter. With her essence essentially having been stolen, you find yourself awakening in the dream world, so to speak, and you come to learn that Rudolph has stolen your powers in an attempt to become a god. Your ultimate goal is to find Rudolph and get your powers back and ultimately exit the dream world. You do this by conversing with Kamenthah, the god-like entity who appears as an Egyptian god and will frequently discuss recent developments in the dream world as you go on your adventures. You go on adventures by walking down the steps of deeper slumber. This will initiate a world map and a local map view. It's in early access still, so you only have access to the first part of the story and the first grid. Each grid is 10 by 10, so there's 100 different unique procedurally generated areas that change each time you visit. My section on this grid will be different than yours and vice versa. As you go on adventures, you will collect singing crystals that allow you to traverse further into the grid, and you can also utilize guides for a price to do so as well. Each adventure you partake in will have specific goals and rewards given in the form of chests. These take the form of battered, regular, ornate, and splendid, each holding treasures of higher values respectively. They may even contain perks and abilities and vouchers for which you can use to build up an array of purchasable items in the 24-hour vending machine that's located in your little home area, your home base, so to speak. If you die in the game, you will lose all your items, your potions, and weapons, so collecting vouchers becomes essential as the difficulty grows. So this way you don't have to go into a difficult adventure with a shitty rusty sword. That's pretty much the default in your home base.
No one's using it.
Throughout the game, you will find better swords, guns, and spells. You can hotkey your spells as you see fit, and you will be given corresponding codex entries for each of your spells. Your spells range from turning into a flock of ravens to reach distant heights, to invisibility, lightning spells, glyph force traps which act like magical landmines, and so on. You will also gain ability perks and perk points to upgrade each of these abilities even further. In the codex, you'll find the corresponding spells and what they do and how you can use them and the effects of them leveling up and so on. You can hotkey all these spells using the numerical keypads, or you can use whatever keys you see fit. Your spells, just like your abilities, will also level up. Once you arrive at your destination, whichever location that you've chosen on the grid, you'll be required to defeat enemies, release prisoners, or find anomalies, etc. You defeat enemies you encounter utilizing guns of all eras. From World War II style MP40s to current gen submachine guns and even old school bolt action sniper rifles. All this variety adds an exciting element to a hardcore adventure game that would typically be bereft of kick-ass guns. The guns sound meaty and they're very satisfying to use. Wasting ghouls with an MP40 while electrocuting them with gigantic balls of lightning from the heavens is just something that can't be passed up. The spells are meaty and sound great as well. You also get access to melee weapons, but as of right now it's pretty limited to only stilettos, short sword, daggers, a rusty sword, etc. It would be pretty amazing if they could implement a dual wield system of some sort. You can dodge, kick, and when your dodge is timed correctly, you'll initiate a slowdown moment which gives you a critical area to target. Often you can one-shot and one-stab kill your enemies with this. This requires patience and precision and is an interesting element that they added to the game. I do, however, wish there were more melee options such as block, like in Dishonored. Perhaps a slide move to evade as well. You have three basic attacks. You have a kick, a light, fast swinging melee attack, and you have a precision stab and hold type of attack which you can initiate. Now you can initiate stealth attacks by crouching and sneaking up on your enemy. I didn't use these very often because it's really cheap and the AI is not good enough to detect you, so it's just kind of a cheap move. So I didn't find myself using them very often, but they are available. If they can make the AI better, the stealth aspect could really be improved upon, but right now it's just kind of shit. You can traverse just about any area and climb nearly anything. Virtually anything that you can put your hands on, you can climb on. Even trees you can use as tactical vantage points, because you can hang on the branches and snipe from it. It's incredibly fun, incredibly satisfying to climb a tree, sit on the branch, and then snipe your enemies out. You have a couple spells at your disposal that make it easier to traverse the environments. You have a teleporting type of grappling hook, which is like it's called Shadow Step, and it allows you to basically cover vast distances really quickly. You also have a Raven spell, which you turn into a group of ravens, and you flock to the area, so you can technically go through things, which is kind of cool. One thing that is incredibly annoying sometimes is if you're out of mana, you can't traverse certain areas because they're just too high for you to reach. So you have to run around looking for mana potions or a mana font or a vending machine if you even have the vouchers to buy the mana potions at the vending machine. So that could be incredibly frustrating, and it just wastes time and it breaks the immersion in the game.
The room is empty, save for a seething mass of purplish blue cilia. From time to time, eyes become apparent amid the writhing villi.
Throughout each adventure, you'll get glimpses into the story and pieces of the puzzle. They'll be put together to progress the storyline and reveal aspects of your backstory. This is done through the discovery of payphones, operating tables, and even TVs you encounter during the adventures.
You are taught the trick of it within hours of your birth, and you spend a lifetime rehearsing for this coming. Such rigorous practice has its benefits. With every year, it becomes easier to pass into that place. With every night, it becomes more inviting.
And they're pretty much as cryptic as anything HP Lovecraft has ever written, so it makes for an interesting story. And it's a difficult one to decipher as well. Environments are fantastical, and the mood changes depending upon the enemies immediately in the area. It's as Lovecraftian and nightmarish as ever a video game or media could be, and anything that could ever do it justice. The developers definitely deserve praise for this aspect. It's as dreamy as you can imagine a dream could be. The score and the choice of music is fantastic, and the ambient sound effects really add to the dreadful, nightmarish atmosphere. When an eidolon, a demon essentially, is manifested, the entire map changes, and even the colors and sounds change. This is masterfully done, and I'm excited to see where this goes. The levels, as I said, are procedurally generated, so each adventure is unique to you. Dream Cycle has a huge potential to be a masterpiece if enough care and attention is given to it. The gunplay, story, environments, music, and progression system at the core are done well. That's not to say the game is without issues, which we will address right now. It's got tons of bugs, and it needs a lot of polish. I spent about 5 minutes walking through the home base area because the fast map travel system bugged out and it didn't activate for me. So I just followed this to see how far it went for shits and giggles until I fell into the abyss of perpetuity. Environments look unfinished and objects sometimes are suspended in animation. Trees are out of place, bugs, chests that you can't get open, textures are not completed, etc. The game needs a mountain of work and love, and it needs to seriously be cleaned up. I only experienced one crash, but others have reported nearly being unplayable for them. I didn't notice any frame rate drops, however, and it generally was very stable for me. Overall, I really do believe that this game has the foundation and the core to turn into a masterpiece. Hopefully the developers have the funding and a desire to make it happen.
KT here. Thank you to all the new followers for joining us on this adventure. Carrion Town is my tribute to Hookland, which is this amazing Twitter account chronicling the lore from a place that almost exists. Carrion Town's my take on that, just a bit darker. Anyway, hope you enjoy the ride.
I couldn't put the game down, and I wanted more and more. I really wanted to see what happened with the story and the characters. Hopefully this HP Lovecraftian dream can be turned into a reality. Only time will tell. Thanks for watching.